Hello and welcome to day 13 of Ethony's 31 Days of Tarot Challenge. Today's prompt is about best, worst and memorable tarot moment of 2017. I put out 3 decks which I did readings with and the readings were quite memorable. I would like to start with the Witch's Tarot, and I did a reading for a friend of mine, and when she came for the reading she was quite upset because in their weekend house a couple of days before there was a big flood. A water tank broke which was located in the attic of the house. This was a multi-story house, and as the water was cascading down the stairs, and as she explained the situation and she was complaining about it, that she didn't understand why this happened, I laid out the cards, and the card that came up was the Four of Cups. But immediately both of our attentions were drawn to the representation of the water in this card, how it starts from high up and how it cascades all the way down, and she was describing that the water was cascading exactly this way down the stairs at the weekend house. So we started laughing how funny the cards are, that immediately they would show what she was talking about, and we laid the cards with this situation in mind, and we were able to tie in this event very nicely to the emotional ongoings in the couple's relationship. So that was one of my most literal readings and literal card draws that I had last year. It was very interesting and it was very funny. I did a reading with the Llewellyn Tarot before a trip that we wanted to take with the family, and never before. I am not the person who is usually scared by the death card, and I understand what the death card represents in tarot, and it usually, I see it as transformation and letting go of things, and usually that's what is happening. So never have I had an experience when the death card actually means death. But I did a reading before a family trip where I had the worst premonition. The center of the reading was the death card, and I felt in my gut that it was related to a physical death. I couldn't shake off that feeling, and as I laid out the rest of the cards, immediately court cards started coming out. 5 court cards came out in a 9-card spread, and there were exactly 5 people who were going to travel together on that trip. So this was the death card, and usually I don't associate this card with physical death, but at that time, on that day, I couldn't shake the feeling that that is what this card represented, especially with the 5 court cards that came out. And the court cards were basically representing the age of the people. So for older people we had the right number of kings and queens. For young people we had the knights, and we had 1 child with us, and I had a page in that spread. So there were just so many similarities to the trip that we were planning to take that I got very scared, and that feeling remained with me. And when I pulled clarification cards, the cards were showing me spine damage and leg injury, a broken leg. So everything was so physical, and everything seemed to go in that direction, that I concluded the reading, and I immediately reorganized the trip. The sense that I had from the reading is that if we take that trip in that 1 car at that time exactly, a freak accident is about to happen. So obviously I would not wait for that to happen, and I could not check if my reading was right or where that reading came from. So I immediately reorganized the trip, and I broke up the party into 2 cars, and we went ahead the day before, and the rest of the group came after us the next day, and luckily nothing happened. So actually, obviously, I cannot say that it would have happened if we had gone in that car on that day together, but I have never had such a strong premonition before, and I just could not shake that feeling. So that was something that was a very special and unique experience in that regard. And that was kind of my worst moment of tarot readings, but if that was a warning, I am glad that I was able to receive it. And lastly, another of my interesting tarot readings was related to this Dreaming Way Tarot. And usually when I do readings for my mother, all the readings seem very expressive, very literal. And I did a reading for her when these cards came out, the Two of Wands with the World in the hands, and the Chariot, and the Sun card with this little baby. And when I looked at the cards, immediately I saw a travel, and I got the sense that she was going to travel, or she needs to travel, and that she needs to take care of children. And at that point we weren't aware that my brother and his family, who lived in another country, would actually need help with taking care of their 2 boys. And shortly after that, she got a call. My brother asked her to come and help them with their children, so she had to travel to another country. So these were my 3 most memorable, interesting, worst, best moments of tarot readings of 2017. These were memorable because I even remember the cards that I pulled, and I didn't know the cards because I had them written down somewhere. I do remember all these cards coming out as I showed you. So sometimes, yes, the readings are very literal. Sometimes we do get readings that can scare us a little bit, but most of my readings are for contemplation, for self-discovery, and I love using tarot for that. I hope that 2018 has in store many memorable moments, especially if I can achieve my goal to read for others much more. I look forward to actually doing those readings and having other memorable readings for 2018. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.